So, hi again, it's Andrea from My Reading Road, and I know I haven't posted basically anything but a short in the last 2 months, but at first I was kind of in a creative slump in regards to filming, and this past month, in May, I've been very busy just trying to read as many books as possible for Escape the Readathon, to actually escape the readathon. It's the second to last day now, so I'm still trying to fit in some books if I can. One of them being this enormous volume of Winnie the Pooh in Swedish. It's over 400 pages, but I'm more than halfway through already. So that is what I'm currently working on, along with a book called 100 Queer Poems that is across the room, and I don't feel like picking it up. But I haven't started that one yet, but it's poems, so I'm rather confident I will be able to fit them before the end line. Currently, I've been doing rather well in my reading. I'm over the 30 marks for my Read What You Own challenge, and I'm doing rather well in my other challenges. So it's looking good. I've already read 50 books this year, and my goal was 60, so I believe I will finish it this year. But I've read a lot of short books. The longest book that I read in April. So I finally read Inheritance by Christopher Fellini. So that's one series finished. And I kind of wish I read it when I had the other books more freshly in my mind, because I believe it would have been more impactful then. But I didn't feel like going back and reading the entire series just to finish the last book, so I just read it. I recalled enough of the other 3 books to not feel confused. So that was all. Then I've read a bunch of others that I will probably do a separate wrap-up, despite me not doing any wrap-up so far this year. I have filmed one for January to March. It's still being edited. Not very well, but it's being edited, and I've added my star ratings for that, and that took a while in itself. So hopefully I will get to actually finish editing that one and put it up, and then I have to film one for April and May, but slow work, better late than never, I guess. But now I'm here to film and introduce my June is the English name of the month, June Tbr, and I haven't played my Tbr game for a while, so it feels fun getting back through it. But before that, I apologize because I believe this mic picks up some of my breathing, and I'm still very nervous when I'm filming, so I apologize for that in advance. And before I'm going to play my game, I thought I would go through some of the books I want to read in uni and see maybe later during the game if they actually fit into the roles or not. And the first one I have is this beautiful copy of All the Dead Lie Down by Kyrie McCauley. This is the naked hardback. It's the Lock Library edition. Have the dust jacket. It's really beautiful. It's not that different from the original pharmacy, but a bit more glassy. And the end pages are stenciled out, as all of them have been so far. I did a short on the ones I had gotten before this one. This is the latest one. And I've read like the beginning page or such. From, as I understand it, it's this girl getting invited to this mansion where much supernatural activity goes down. I just like going to read the synopsis for this one. Days after the tragedy leaves 70-year-old Marion Bleat alone in the world. She receives a surprising invitation from Alice Lovelace, an acclaimed horror writer and childhood friend of Marion's mother. Alice offers her a nanny position at Lovelace House, the family's coastal Maine estate. Marion accepts and soon finds herself minding Alice's peculiar girls. Thea buries her doll one by one, hosting a series of funerals, while Wren does everything in her power to drive Marion away. Then Alice's eldest daughter returns home unexpectedly. Evie Hallowell is every bit as strange as her younger sisters, and yet Marion is quickly drawn in by Evie's compelling behavior and ethereal grace. But as Marion settles in, she can't escape the anxiety that shadows her. Dead birds appear in Marion's room, the children pranks escalate, something dangerous lurks in the wood. All is not well at Lovelace's house, and Marion must unravel its secrets before they consume her. So I got the impression that it was something supernatural, but maybe it's not. It's not the first time it happened, but it seems to have this dark feel anyway, so I believe I'll enjoy it. So I'm looking to read and find out. We'll see if I actually fit that one in or not. Then another I've already started is the Black Tongue Thief, and I'm still on the fence if I like it or not, but I guess I have to decide when I get further into it. I'm on chapter 5. There's some aspect of this world I find fascinating, but I kind of want to get somewhere because it's still only started out. So we'll see if I fit that one in. Another I've started is Heaven's Official Blessing number 2. I believe I have the whole series now, so it's about time I continue reading this one. So hopefully I can see the animated series also without spoiling myself for the books. Then I got this one from the library, World Engines Destroyer, and this is a sci-fi, and I don't remember as much about it, but I found it interesting. And the second book is World Engines the Creator, I believe, and I thought that would be the first one, but this one is the first one, so I'm intrigued. We'll see where it gets me, and it's really thick, but I believe it will be relatively easy to read. And see if I find what it's about. I usually want to go blind into this, but I have read this one before, so I don't mind it. reading it again, and 100 of years in the future, and a stagnating and almost empty Earth, a space shuttle pilot from the early days of the 21st century is awoken from the cryogenic sleep he entered after a devastating accident. As he comes to terms with this new world, he begins to realize that their history does not match what he remembers, and that only he may be able to stop the coming catastrophe destined to destroy the planet, until he meets a young woman who seems to have a drive of her own and a plan. And that actually made me more excited to read this. Find this fascinating. So I believe I'm going to really enjoy this, and hopefully I will be able to squeeze it in on the rolls. Then I have a couple of poems by Wisma Balsevica, that's one, and Zubair Ahmed, Flodernas stad, and he is from Bangladesh, I believe. Yeah, Bangladesh, and this poet is from Latvia. So these are mostly for my Read the World reading challenge. And what way to get an insight in the people than poetry. It worked for Poland and China, so I'm continuing as far as I can find poetry from. So these are next. The third one I have is from also Asma Asaishi. I'm so sorry for butchering these names. They're really hard for me. Tro inte på mig när jag talar om kriget. In English, I believe it would be "Don't believe me when I talk about the war." And as I said, and she's a Palestinian poet, so that's another country of the list, and maybe it will give me some insight in what's going on there. I also have As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows, another book I want to continue. I'm more than halfway through, and it's kind of been put on the shelf this month because of Escape the Readathon. So we'll see if I actually finish one, hopefully, because I do enjoy it, and it gave me much more insight in what's happening in Syria than any news have. So I do really recommend it, even if it's fiction. It does give you an insight in what's happening. So without further ado, with that little downer note, let's go to what my rolls look like and see what I got. So my stand for my phone filming this is kind of broke, so it's difficult to film in this angle. So hopefully this will go well. And I had to look back because I didn't remember where we ended last time I played this, because I haven't played since March. And apparently I ended on a pass, which is that I reached the middle. So we start at the start, conveniently enough, this time after this break. So I'm just going to throw my 5 throws, and then we'll see if any of the books I've already planned to read in the coming month that are already begun actually fit the prompt or not. We'll see. Let's go for throw number 1. and I have a double already, so that means one more throw because it's 2 2s, which is 4. So I got 4. Let's see if I can hit 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a genre blanket pick. And I'm currently doing a row for non-fiction, so it's going to be a non-fiction read, which is I'm really happy about actually, because I have a couple I want to read in the coming months. So that since it got the second extra roll, I still have 5 rolls to do. So go with roll number 2. It doesn't seem to be my month. That's another double. 2 4s, 8. So still 5 rolls after this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's a new book. That's good. One of the books I want to read is my newest one, so bad with the rolls, but very lucky with the prompts to see. And number 3, we have not a double for once, and it's a 1 and a 3. And I probably said that wrong, but it's 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a booktube wreck. So let's see which one I come up with this time. It probably won't be the most popular book on booktube right now, but one I picked up because of booktube, which is most of my books actually, so it won't be difficult. And then we have, let's see, 4 more rolls, and it's roll number 4. And that's a 4 and 3. That's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm into the second circle. Any book. Well, I believe I will fit that in. It won't be difficult. So, still being lucky with the prompts. And we have 3 more rolls, if I count correctly. So, next one, we have another 4 and 3, so it's 7 again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm in the last circle, and it's a buzzword aton, and I probably end up picking the Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, because I planned to read it this month, but it didn't happen, so this is my excuse to get to that one finally. I've done 5, I got 2 extra, 2 left, right. And almost at the last one. Let's see. And it's a 6 and a 3. And that's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got a blank card, and we'll see what I use it for. I already used up the 2 I got last time, I believe. The first one I used up immediately, and I believe I used up the second one, but I don't really recall for what. So I got one of them, 1 free pass. And that means I'm start at the beginning. see. And it's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's another Buzzwordathon prompt. And I'm not sure what else from the Buzzwordathon I should fit in, but I'll probably tell you after this cut. So those were the roles, and here's the books that I picked for them. So the first role was genre blanket pick, and as you can see, this is the color I'm currently working on. I believe if I get this one, and it's my non-fiction. I believe you can't see what I've written on this. I barely can read it, but it's my non-fiction color, so it's a non-fiction, as I previously stated. And for this, I wanted to pick factfulness because it's part of other challenges I do, so I want to get this through. But I also have this A History of Libraries from my library, and I have to read this one soon before it expires and have to return it. So either one or both. I do have access to the audiobook for this one, but in Swedish, so I might go with that and read this one physical, but we'll see. I only need to read one of them for my TBR game, so I'm putting both of them on there. I probably put factfulness on there, and I'm going to pick this one up if I get around to it. If I feel like reading something physically and not interchanging it with an audiobook. Then the next one was Something New, was the prompt. And this All the Dead upside down. All the Dead Lie Down is the newest book I have received. So it's the best fit for this prompt. So I'm really happy about that because I want to read this one this month. So, or this coming month, since it's not really there yet. And then we had Booktube and so I picked up The Puppy War. This is another book from my TBR cart, which is one of the things I'm doing, so I'm using it from the Booktube because that's where I heard about this book from. So finally getting around to this one, and maybe make me see if I should buy the third book when I go to Gothenburg this summer, but let's see if I was justified in buying the second book in this series before reading the first one. So I'm pretty sure all of you know what this one is about. So I'm not going to go into it because I'm very bad at formulating what they're about. And then we have actually managed to squeeze in World Endings Destroyer, and this is for any book, and that's because I want to read some science fiction, and I have wanted to pick this one up since I got it from the library a couple of days ago, but it's too long for me to finish before the end of the month, so I'm prioritizing shorter and more easily read books. So I'm looking forward to getting to this one in June. And then, as I already told you, for the first Buzzwordathon prompt, I'm picking The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and it's about time I read this one. and I'm somewhat aware of the nits this one uses, at least that I believe it uses with the whole title. So I'm intrigued to read what this author had done with it. And the next one for Buzzword.on, the last prompt I got, I'm going to put Solo Leveling Volume 1 on this one. I have them on audiobook, so I'm going to listen to them. And this is for the prompt game term, I believe the prompt was, and solo leveling is very rather common in game terms, so that's going to fit there. And as I said, that means I still have some books I didn't fit on the prompt, but I might pick up anyway. So, but I won't prioritize. Another one I didn't talk about is The Shadow of the Wind, and it's because I don't really want to read it, but it's part of my TBR cart, so I feel like I have to make my way through, but we'll see. It might take me the entire summer, and I'm going to let it take that far, so I'm taking it slow with this one. I will be working on it, and regardless. And then I also have Illidan, which is a World of Warcraft book about this character, and I kind of know the story in the broad strokes already from in-game and other lore and such. This is the novelization of that story from this character's perspective, so it don't feel like any new, and well, I'm going to make my way through it in a slow and comfortable pace, so it's also not a priority, but I'll be working on that one as well. And that goes for the poems as well. If I don't actually finish any of them before the end of the month, I might do that. We'll see. But those are all the books on my TBR for June, which is 1 bunch of books and 2 3 piles of books in different sizes. So we'll see if my reading list is going to continue. I've finished 11 books this month so far, so I might hit a slump in June for all I know, because I've read almost constantly now. I will probably also fit in more audiobooks, because those are my mood reads. So the risk is that I will read almost no books on my TBR, but other books. But I have some books on here that I really want to read this month, so I'm very optimistic. What are you going to read in June, and are you excited for some special book? Please tell me. Maybe we both be interested in it, so please share your recommendations with me for exciting books. I hope you have a good time reading.